All right, Chaz, we're live.
Sweet.
So tell me about your game. What's going on? What brings you in?
So I've been playing a lot of. I got 12 events, like Iowa section events, and then I got some programs that I'm playing. I even want to go down to Nebraska and play the Nebraska Open.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
So a lot of pressure on
yeah,
tournament golf this year
yeah.
because I'm really jumping in. I've only done like 3 or 4 for the past year or so.
Yeah.
I've been on this weird kick where it's like 83, 83, 80, like it's all I shot last year, and it drove me nuts. Worked my butt off on like anything inside 100 yards and just wedges, wedges, wedges,
Yeah.
wedges. And I've seen some good scores. Like I've shot a under par round once this year. I've shot even par Sunday. But
Where
again,
at?
I keep right Grandview. It's like a
Grandview. Okay.
shorter
Yeah.
course. You still have to be on to shoot
Yeah.
decent scores,
Heck yeah.
but it is shorter. Kind of like a confidence booster. But I played a tournament yesterday and shot 79 with 4 doubles.
Where at?
Prairie Links.
Oh yeah.
Where I really
Yeah.
actually enjoyed it. My first time ever playing.
That is a fun course. Yeah.
First hole I drained like a 30-foot
Nice.
birdie putt, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I only got 2 birdies on the day. I lipped out for birdie 4 or 5 times the rest
Okay.
of the day.
So
I'm
could have been
giving
quite a bit
myself
better.
chances, but the full swing seems like that's what's taking me out of play.
Okay.
I just switched to mid-size. I kind of like it, just
Yeah.
in the idea of like taking away the left miss for myself.
Is that your issue? The left miss?
Kinda.
Overhook?
But now it's like
Both.
It's just when it's bad, it's gone.
Yeah.
But if it's good, it's great.
Yeah.
There's no like in between. It's never just like consistent.
Yeah.
Me. And I think that's what's like biting me.
Yeah.
Hard too.
Okay.
I mean, it's doubles.
Yeah.
And I can't have any of those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Cool.
As you know.
Yep. And I have watched you play a little bit, so I kind of have an idea of your swing a little bit. Do you want to log in at all, or you don't have to, but if you want to save the data?
Like my short game is, in my opinion, the best part about my game.
Oh, great. Oh, I don't know if it'll work through there, because that's through OBS. Okay.
Yeah, putting. Just switched back to my 7, and that's the one I've shot some pretty low scores with. So
yeah.
I've bounced around to like 7 different putters.
Okay.
It's been a mess.
Yeah.
I was really shaky inside like 10 feet, but with that one, I'm pretty solid.
Good on the short ones. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right. What about? I like to do a 7-iron just because you get enough side spin to like see stuff, but it's a little bit longer, so you get some distance. So let's go ahead and hit some warm-up shots. I'll get the camera set up. Did you? Was it windy out yesterday? Who won it?
And we had some rain. Jay Gianetto, who
I played
with.
Oh, you played with him? What did he shoot?
5 under.
Oh, nice. I want to start playing in some of those. Cause I just signed up for the PGA and I'm going through level 1 right now. And I think I can play like some stuff just with going through level 1. Do you know?
If you're level 1, you can play in most of the section events. You can't do like the PGA section championship.
Yep.
You can't play that one.
Can I play the assistants?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fairly certain. I'm level 2, and I'm playing that one. I'm really excited. That's the one I really want to play well.
Yeah. Is that one? Someone told me that you can't qualify for nationals until you complete level 1. Right. Is that true?
Well,
I'd
have to double check.
No, I'm talking with.
A good guy to reach out to.
Who?
Casey Harvey.
Okay. Oh yeah, I just got put on an email with him. I'm gonna call him today even. get good spin. So I got the dot on here. Oh, these balls have low spin too, so they do go far.
Okay.
But put the dot forward and it'll get good spin numbers.
All right.
Although that one's not italicized, so it did pick it up. But yeah, those balls are low spinning balls. So if you want to use one of your balls,
Just for the sake of it.
yeah. Let me get. So put one of these dots on there. And then for irons, you want it facing straight forward. But yeah, those balls are funny. Like they have low spin off the irons, but they have super low ball speed off the driver. So like you hit it far with your irons, but the driver doesn't go that far because it's like, yeah, it's like 3 or 4 mile an hour slower ball speed. So would you say that miss right there is kind of a typical miss?
It's like random weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't really quite put my finger on like what happened.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at that one. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of look through to start. I'll go through the whole thing and then.
So I get stuck.
Okay. You do a lot of really nice things in your swing. To me, setup, I like the way you're setting up. If I had to be nitpicky, and it'd be very nitpicky, it feels like you're a touch on your toes there, but I don't think that's even worth worrying about right now. But
Yeah,
maybe down the
I've
line.
been sitting in the heels quite a bit, so maybe I've gone a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's fine
I'm
though.
always checking that.
Yeah, okay. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I like this takeaway. So what I look for is, club face, kind of matching the spine angle. Pretty darn close there. So, whoops.
I do tend to get real closed.
Real closed.
Sometimes with the driver,
shut.
With the driver and woods.
Okay.
That's a tendency of mine.
Okay.
I get really close at that position.
Okay, top of the backswing here. Nice hip turn. We got some angle in your hips. Shoulder turn is nice. Arms staying in front of the body. Right elbows in great position. Flat left wrist. Club pretty much on plane. You lift your arms just a touch, but I think it's fine. Your tendency is to get a club path, I think, that goes too far to the right. And so lifting up the arms kind of helps combat that, which is probably a good thing.
Would you like some background of like what is going on in my swing? So like, so I used to, I nipped this in the butt real good last year, but I would sway and I would really fire my hips.
Yep.
And my head would almost go this way.
Okay.
And so my 3 things in my swing is my knee stays over the left foot.
Okay.
Keep the sway away.
Yeah.
Kind of helps me kick myself.
Yeah.
And cover. That's 1.
Yep.
2 is my right ear. Can't pass the wall. So I would go this way, right?
Yep. Okay.
And then when I fire through, my right ear has to
move forward and around.
That gets me to here.
Yeah.
Instead of
yes.
there.
Well, those are all good things to combat the rightward path.
The third one was just my right heel staying down longer.
Okay.
Letting the arms beat the foot.
Okay.
Before I go.
So they were getting way behind you.
Yeah,
got you.
I really fire that forward.
Yep. Okay.
So that's my 3 pieces I've stayed consistent with for the last year and a half.
Okay.
It's worked well. I've hit some good shots with it when I am
Yeah.
doing it and I feel like it, but then I'll feel like I do it exactly the same way and that
yeah.
So it's something weird.
Yeah. Okay. This piece, you're shallowing the club nicely. You have, nice hinge there. You're holding the angles, allowing you to get some speed. Club face is staying square there. A position I always look at is club on the right forearm, club face kind of in line with the trail arm there, like your tricep. Let me get rid of that.
That's a cool way. I never really thought about looking at it that way.
Yeah, like
On the spine angles.
all the good players are kind of right there. Let me bring up. I always like Tommy Fleetwood, so I bring
I
him
love how
up.
they have new players on
I know, me too.
I've been watching and looking at Ben Griffin swing a lot.
Yeah, he's kind of got some unique moves, but
So
really good. Yeah. So if we bring up Tommy,
I like that.
yeah. So like all their club faces are kind of right there, like right on the back of their.
Yeah, I've always gone like, okay, off the spine angle, but.
And that's what. Yes, and that's what a lot of people talk about at this position, having the face square to the spine. I don't see that in a lot of the players.
Okay.
And a lot of the players, it's more open than that.
Yeah.
So yours is slightly close to that. It is, you're getting it right where, most people would say, which is parallel to the spine, which I think is fine. I think you can really play well from there. I just see players typically a little more open than that. This is where I think we can see some improvement. So I think your rotation is stalling out too soon, and that's allowing your club to continue out to the right too long. So you can see Tommy here, if we look at his shoulders, shoulder line, shoulder plane. Oh, not shoulder plane. Shoulder line here. So you can see yours is more to the right than his is at this point.
Yeah, I would venture to say like when I really focused on ripping that right ear through,
Yeah.
like getting myself to exit left as far as possible.
Yep.
I usually get some really good
Yeah.
strikes from that.
Yeah. And if we look at shoulders or hips too, like, it's kind of hard to see there, but you can see, his left butt cheek quite a bit more than yours. So,
I've always struggled with, yeah.
Yep. And what that does is kind of this position here. So, see his hands working around the arc and the club staying out? Yep. Your hands are continuing to work out to the right, and you're getting a lot of club face rotation. You could see, it's hard to see his face. Let's see if we can go another frame or maybe back.
Makes a lot of sense. Is 2 of the doubles, 3 of the doubles, or snappy.
Yeah.
And then all my irons have seemed to have like this big snappy hook.
Yeah.
Kind of like that one that we just saw.
Yeah. You're doing so many good things in the top of your backswing, downswing. It's just like the shoulders and hips aren't continuing to rotate, which is allowing your arms to keep going out. And the more they go out, you run out of room with your right arm and it rolls over. And so you're just getting too much face rotation and the path is starting to go too far to the right.
That makes sense then.
Yeah. I think we work on really, you're going to feel like the rotation in your hips is going to lead, obviously, and it's going to pull your shoulders around, and your ultimate goal is to pull your hands around the arc. So we want to get those hands working around more using our body. And then what I'd like to see is your club path get under 3 consistently to the right with a 7-iron. And that'll cut.
I do like to shape the shots back. If I can just hit a dead straight shot every single shot, like JG and Neno, like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like that man doesn't have a miss. It's just straight every time.
Really?
It's so cool to watch.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I think if you like to shape the ball, I would work on low fades and doing it with your body. So using your body to pull those hands around left, that stops the club face rotation. You'll see less inconsistency with your misses because ultimately the face controls so much of our shots. You have to have that face under control, and yours is just, it's turning over too much.
Okay.
So let's hit a few. And so as you're going through P7, just really feel like your goal is to get the hands to work around the arc. And you want to do that using your body. So, it's like having these, everyone says, the hips need to be this far open, the shoulders need to be this far open. Well, what's the purpose of all of that? Your hands are what's holding the club. Your hands are connected to your arms, which are connected to your shoulders. And so that's why everyone says that. But the whole key is the hands need to work left through the arc. Yep. So it's like you just want them working. It's not necessarily, I don't like it when people talk about like they really need to work left. It's like you just want a consistent arc with the hands. So yours are coming down in a good arc, like coming down from the inside, and then they should work back inside. Yours are coming down from the inside and just working too straight through the ball.
And that's been my tendency for years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've always been able to hit like a big hook.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why. Yep. So that's the feeling. That's super exaggerated, but yeah, that's the feeling.
I even did this for a while there. This seemed to help.
Yeah.
For the wall back here.
Yeah.
Get that feeling. That was exaggerated.
Yeah, good. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so good. You change your club path on the first swing, 1.6. Nice. Let's get all this stuff out of here. So, I mean, I really like that position. I like the club slightly inside the hands. The club face is turning down towards the ball. Okay, good. You can see your shoulders. They're a lot more square than your first one. Your first one, your shoulders were more out to the right. I could see more of your left hip there. Yes, and lay the hands working more around, and that club staying outside the hands. So you can see that right there compared to first one.
Big difference.
Yeah, so that was great. That's a great first swing. Now the other thing to think about when you pull your hands left, it actually makes them lower typically, which makes your lie angle a little bit higher.
Okay.
So it doesn't always, sometimes people have to feel like they're actually holding or opening the face more, even though they're pulling left.
That's what I was just kind of feeling. That
Yeah.
little bit that
It's interesting because it's like, because the interesting thing is like pulling left actually stops the club face from rotating, but actually lowering the hands closes the face. So you're doing two opposite things. Like you're taking away face rotation that makes it go left, but you're adding in lower hands, which makes it go a little left. So you actually don't, necessarily start seeing the ball go right, fading just by going lower hands. You still got to kind of open it a little bit more. So we kind of saw a little bit of a closed face, in your swing on the way down, just a touch. So if you get those low hands going through with just a little bit more open face, I think that'll be good. All right, nice club path there. So 0.6 to the right. I mean, that's a great club path there. I see a lot of great players with that club path. Some are more to the right than that. Some are more to the left than that. So it's just more of like getting you kind of in a neutral place. Yeah, so look at that. So it was just barely, but your club was dropping a little below your right arm on the first one, and now it's kind of staying up a little bit more, which I like. Still getting to that great position there. Yep, coming more straight into the ball, not quite so much underneath. Shoulders are a little more square there. Yep, you're doing a good job. Yes, the hands are working more around the arc. That's very nice. So let's look at Tommy compared to. So that position, I mean, it's very hard to see differences in the club there. They're very similar right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the exact. I mean, see face the path.
Yeah, slightly closed.
3 degrees close.
Yep.
And that could be 3 degrees right there.
Right. Yeah, 3 degrees is hard to see. You're totally right. Shoulders, pretty similar. I would say your right shoulder's a touch lower than his, but which would make you get a little more underneath. But I like that. I mean, so his club face is still rolling a lot less than yours. Yours is still kind of rolling there more than his. So you can see his face a little bit there where, it's still kind of this direction. Where yours is, it's rolled a little bit more. So, and that'll take a little time, but that'll come out as you're working around to the left.
I've been kind of chasing that for the last 3 or 4 months. I kind of reach for the wall.
Yeah.
So it's not, fairly, still kind of new, but.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes some players feel like, your arms have to wait a little bit longer. So it's like, wait for your body to rotate, kind of, maybe you've overdone a little too much of getting the arms in front. As the arms get in front, like, you can't rotate if you're really trying to get your arms in front. Like, you got to wait, right, to really get your arms in front. And then sometimes it's hard to, like, kick in that rotation, like, mid-swing, because it's moving so fast. Like, so it's like maybe go the other way just a touch where it's like, let your hands follow your body a little bit more, because then you can start rotating and you can pull your hands around, So it's like, if I stay, like your drill where you're really trying to get them in front of the hip right here, if I do that and then it's like I try and rotate, well, the hands and club are moving so fast, like you can't just start that. So it's like, I think if your body rotation can pull them around just a little bit more and let your arms follow the body rotation just a little bit more, that might help with the club face rotation. Does that make sense?
Trying to track there.
So,
because I feel like I really weak it, but obviously it's.
You feel like what?
I feel like I fan this guy out.
Yep.
And knee stays there, so I can really kick here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. That's really good.
Should that be the rotation that you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking more about, like, how you're saying you're trying to get your arms in front of your hip like this. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to do that, the main way you do that is by not rotating, right? Like, you don't rotate your shoulders, you don't rotate your hips, like your arms can get down in front. What I'm saying is sometimes it's really hard, if you do that well, to, like, get your arms in front and then kick in your rotation like last minute, because the hands and arms are moving really fast compared to your body. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's like, maybe just like, because all good players, they actually hit on the trail side of their body. So, like, their hands and arms are, like, kind of in line with their trail thigh at impact, because things have moved forward and, like, the arms and shoulders are kind of, like, back on the trail side. So you just got to be careful about, like, trying to get everything on the lead side and then kind of rotating around. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, it just means that like your body's kind of rotating as your arms lower and like you're kind of hitting on the trail side of your body. So you can kind of let your arms follow a little bit more, which might help them go around to the left more. Yep.
Might have something here.
Okay, so we got one to go to the right.
For me, that feels like I'm still keeping like right ear and like the thought.
Yeah, those are all good.
I'm just getting this hip backing out of the way a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I can actually engage and get kind of what you were talking about.
Okay.
I can actually do what you're.
Yeah.
Because before I was just not turning my hips for the most part. I mean, I was turning them, but I really wasn't.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I can turn them, right? Like.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Very nice.
I've had to think about that one a couple times, and when I do have it, it works.
Yeah, and see that one?
It just doesn't stick with the next day.
This one, like, the right, you really right side bended there, it looks like, to me. So, like, you really went like that.
Oh, that's me dipping again.
It's the right shoulder going down instead of, like, using rotation, like, and see the club face really roll over. So you held the face open a little bit too much there, but you still had the. So the only thing I would say about being careful with the hips thing is, in the downswing, this hip has to go forward. All right. So a lot of people will do like this drill, like keep the hips back, but what you want is you want the center of your hips to just kind of stay in the same spot.
Right.
Okay. So what that means is in the backswing, this hip goes back, this one kind of goes forward, and it keeps the center there. But in the downswing, the opposite happens. This one goes forward, and then this one goes back. And so that's what keeps the hip centered. What people run into trouble with is they try and keep this hip back because everyone says keep your butt on the wall, right? But if you keep this hip back, you can't rotate your hips because it's like.
That's something I've been trying to do this whole time. I've been trying to like just keep this thing back.
No, that has to go forward.
Why I'm ripping everything.
Yeah, yes, and that's why you can't like keep rotating because your hips can't rotate if this stays back.
I've been so gosh darn scared of going back to this. So
yeah.
Like anytime I feel this go forward and I see it on camera, it's like, oh, nope.
Yeah. That could be the whole root cause of all of your problems. That has to go forward. Okay. It's just your lead hip has to go back.
Like, okay, forward like this forward or like.
Yep, it'll go.
Obviously, you don't want to go.
It will go towards the ball like this, and then this will go back, and then your hips stay centered. So it's like if there's a line on your rear, this goes back, and then this goes away from the line, but then this one replaces it. So then it looks like your backside's still on the wall. It's just which cheek is touching the wall's changed. Because the whole thing with like early extension is you just don't want the center of your hips moving towards the ball. But the center of your hips doesn't necessarily move towards the ball if the right hip moves towards the ball, as long as the left hip is moving back. And in fact, you want that right hip moving towards the ball just a little bit because then you can turn. You can't turn if you keep that thing back. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we're starting to see some balls fading, which I like. And I really like that your club path is 1 degree into out. Yeah, I like your shoulders
I
there.
would see that video and be like, oh nope, my right foot's firing too soon. I need to keep
Yeah.
that thing locked.
Yeah, and I think that whole thing could be the entire problem of why you're having these left misses, because you can't rotate your hips well when you're
That's why my
doing that.
back is like, oh, I need to exit left, but the fire.
Yeah.
So like the more I rip my upper body left, sure it works, but then I'm just like, nah, I don't
Yeah.
feel great.
Yeah. That can't feel good.
No. Okay.
So let's look at the backside line here. So did you feel like you let your hips go more?
Yeah, I felt like right hip went to target.
Okay.
Well, everything else almost stayed the same, relatively. So like I exited left still.
Yep.
I just made sure this guy, my right hip after everything,
Yep.
to the target.
Yeah.
Is what I felt most there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could see like you didn't go forward there. Your hips didn't go. They did a little bit. So this is like your dynamic hip line, and then this is where you start it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. Like if you look at the backside line here, you're still right up against it. And that's where, but your right hip has gone away from it, right? Which is what should happen. And then the left hip is now gone towards the line. And that's what's replaced it and kept what looks like your backside on the line. But it's only one side of the backside is on the line, not both. And then you can rotate through.
Still rolls over.
It does, yep.
I've tried weaker grips and everything too. Like it just, I have a long thumb with my left hand.
Okay.
And that I've been trying to shorten that up. With the mid-size, it's become easier
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
But still, just like a weaker left hand, and it's not like I'm incredibly strong. It's just this thing's sort of long instead of short.
Yeah. I think it's more of just the hand path through the ball. The more you can get that hand path working through around, the less that face is going to roll over. And yeah, I think it starts with that idea of the hips. Let the hips go. You know, that left hip is what pulls you around, but let that right hip go.
Where I see it the most is like get into like my longer irons, like 6.5 or 6.5, 4, and then like 3 wood, 7 wood seem to like really.
You want to hit some of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see like a.
One of the 4 doubles I had was a par 3 that was 170, 180.
Yeah.
It had water kind of cutting in.
Yeah.
All along the right side of the green and like kind of front right of the green. And so I was like, man, I better keep this hit back so I don't.
Oh yeah.
I just want to make a good shot. I'm under pressure.
Yeah.
That's when everything goes.
Yeah.
And I tried doing all the moves and keeping this thing back.
Yeah.
And it was like a 30, 40-yard hook.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, what?
Yes. Because it kind of just like, yeah, it's like you can turn your shoulders, but it's just harder to turn your shoulders when your hips staying back, right? And then when it's harder to turn your shoulders, your hands will tend to go more out to the right, and then you'll tend to roll the face more. Let me go see who that is quick. Go ahead and hit a couple.
Good morning.
Good morning. That looked nice to me.
I felt like it got stuck there again.
Did you?
Yeah.
So when you say get stuck, what do you?
So like you're talking about right hip, firing.
Yeah.
I felt like I did that at impact. Like this foot just stayed.
Oh.
Right to the floor.
Like you couldn't move through the ball well, or what?
Yeah. So like kind of like the old thing that I've been trying to do, like trying to keep this back.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Some people refer to stuck as like their arms got behind and they felt like they couldn't release it or they flipped it.
I would say this got stuck and not going part of the swing, and then hand rolled over.
Yes, that's exactly the feeling. You know, like the Justin Rose practice rehearsal, you know, that's kind of, yeah,
Matthew Wolf here.
yeah. Did you heal that one? Oh, I guess this thing doesn't read heels well.
Yeah, heels get really.
They start hooking on this thing.
Well, they on TM4s, like the heel miss like really slices. I've noticed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've noticed the opposite. Because this thing like reads. It reads it gets.
Half was yes out to end, but face path was closed.
Yep. So you're right. It did read it correctly. Are you using RCT balls when you play on it?
If I'm like competing on the next tour, yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm just practicing, just hitting some max slice.
You did heal it, yeah, and it did fade.
It's nice to see though. I typically toe this thing and then it even more.
That's definitely getting better. I mean, as you get a longer shaft, it's definitely, you know, will tend to come in shallower. But your path there was 2.2. Let me get swing plane on here. Swing plane.
Seems like a certain drill, because I'll go to the range and like
swing plane.
figure out things out.
You need a certain drill.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
I think I have a feeling, but.
Yeah, what you're doing there looks right.
Or even if I just not flare out the right foot,
that could help. Yeah, as long as it doesn't restrict your backswing.
That's helped in the past.
Yeah.
But like my thought again was lock this thing down.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah.
Throw it out here. Right?
Yeah.
Go back to that real quick here. Just gotta make sure I don't aim left. That sometimes happens when I don't do that. Actually, it felt pretty good.
Zone off the toe. Oh, it didn't get face to path. So you're getting pretty shallow on those.
Hips seem to be further this way with that foot.
Yeah, your hips are working nicely. Now your upper body is just kind of hanging back. I would say you're getting a lot of right side tilt, and you're getting it's shallowing too much. Yeah. So I mean that Justin Rose drill is like perfect for you. You know which one I'm talking about? Where it's like, it's like this. Keep the left side down. It's like over exaggerated. Hips around. This staying high. This staying low.
But doing that, his right hip's kind of tracking the way.
Yeah, right. And so it's like the arms lower as like. So you're not like shallowing it by tilting your shoulders. You know, you're shallowing it with your wrist and the lowering of the arms, but keeping your shoulders this way and then pulling left. Does that make sense? Because you're just getting excuse me, you're just getting a lot of right side tilt. You weren't doing it so bad with your irons. Yes, exactly. It's going to feel like you can't even hit it probably. As you do that, lower your arms though. Yep. Yes.
I gotta move the hips, don't I?
Yep. Yeah.
I do it, but I'm only doing it with my upper body.
Yeah.
It's not anything with hips. Dang. Okay.
But see how that keeps the shaft like steeper? Like you can't even get the shaft inside on that.
I feel myself want to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You will, because it's going to feel like you're going to smash into the ground super hard. So it's more of just like keep that. Don't let the center of your chest, just like you were saying, that one thing that you're trying to do is good. Like, what were you saying with your ear, like going forward? Yeah. So like, it's kind of like getting back a lot with the woods. Go on.
Getting that with.
You're doing it. You're not doing it enough. Like,
I need to chase that.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'm with you now. Yeah.
That'll keep it steeper. That's a steepening move.
Okay.
And just be okay with it going a little lower,
Okay.
like a little lower ball flight. That seemed better. Your club path was actually left on that one. Good.
That felt pretty good. It's a big leak out there. I don't know if that's Healy or if that's just.
I honestly, yeah, good. Much, much better. That was so much better. Look at that shaft coming down. Like right there compared to this one.
I need to put flaring out that right foot too. That doesn't seem to help at all with the hips.
See how low this right shoulder is, and that shaft is dropping way underneath the right arm. Club's way inside the hands. Like everything's just angled way out to the right. And this one, that right shoulder's much higher. Shaft coming down more on the right forearm, getting just barely inside the hands. That's way better. You're going to be able to control that a lot more.
Yeah, and that right foot's a lot more active too.
Yes. Yeah, so I'd say everything for you is, for a little while, steepen things, do steepening moves.
That's been the case for the last year and a half.
Has it?
That dip, the three pieces I had,
Yeah.
because I was dipping, and
Yep.
it caused my path to really be
Yes.
very, very in doubt.
Yep. So the hip could be part of it, right? And then, keeping that center of the chest moving forward, right? And so you can think about the ear, but sometimes the center of the chest can go forward and you keep your ear back like this, so I think you think center of chest more.
Okay.
Don't let the center of chest go back.
Okay.
Because you see that in like Ben Griffin, right? Like, and even Scotty, like they go like this. They're pretty steep, and then they try and shallow it. Their right ear goes back, and that's like kind of a shallowing move. Like they're trying to get this back a little bit. But if you focus on keeping that chest forward, like it doesn't matter what you do with your head. Like.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Like it. Like it. Like it a lot.
Like that. Okay. Really better.
Yep.
Because that felt cool. That was different. I was worried about what my head's doing.
Yeah, much more in line there. Good. Yeah, I always kind of think in terms of my two centers, the lower center, which is between your hips, and the upper center, which is between your shoulders. How are those relating to each other? If I'm starting to get a right path, like that upper center's getting too far behind the lower center. Missed it. Oh, you did it good though.
Those are the weird ones. It's just a dry, like, I had like two of them just like that.
Did you?
Yeah, and they cost me.
That one was pretty big heel strike, yeah. Yeah, I just really missed.
I've normally been striking on the toe.
Yeah.
That's why it's been my miss.
Huh.
All my strikes, you can see, like. like that miss right there
Yeah,
would be like a weird high toe.
yeah, yeah.
miss.
That is interesting.
So like
Because someone
firing
who comes to,
firing this,
oh yeah,
like that's what
yes,
comes to my mind. And that's
yes,
why I've tried to keep that back.
I see.
Because like I'd have some, I guess, horrible misses maybe.
Hazel, okay.
Yes.
So if that happens, I mean, you could see the center of your hips did move towards the ball. That orange line is closer than the blue. So it's like, let that hip go forward, but if you're starting to hit it off the inside, it's like you got to get that left hip back. Because the net result will be, the hips staying where they are, where your hips are moving a little forward. So hips and upper center staying forward. Yep. And all that should feel like pulling low left, like low left shots, low cutting shots is the feeling that you should have to start.
See me just straightening that out.
Well,
Nothing back. Ah.
I mean, your path.
I've worked on that for the last year and a half, and that's gonna sneak in every now and then.
Heck yeah, yes it is. But the key is look at your path. Like this is how you're gonna when you're practicing on TrackMan, it's like just keep an eye on your path. If you're starting to get too shallow, like you'll start to see numbers that are 4 or 5, especially with the woods out to the right. But yeah, look at that. That shaft is staying so much more on top of the ball. It's not dropping so far underneath. The club head can work more straight at the ball instead of from in here into out. It's more on the arc.
Cleared.
Yes. And look at the center of your hips there is perfect.
And my right leg right now, right? Like that is what felt like to me locked out.
Which that's because you're pushing forward, right? Like if you push that hip forward, like your leg's going to be very straight because you see that with Rory, you see that with a lot of good players. I think that's okay.
Okay.
It's going to feel like that because you're pushing them forward. But as long as you're not trying to like keep this hip back, that's all that matters. Don't try and keep that right butt cheek against the wall. But it will feel like it straightens out because you're pushing forward and around. Yes, good. Good rehearsal. Nice shot. Yeah, great club path. Very nice.
I like that 250 carry number.
Yeah.
Considering even just going to a 5-wood, this thing's bumped up to 17 degrees.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I try to get this thing up in the air, and it just a 7-wood I can ball.
Do you? Gosh, everyone says that.
Oh my goodness. Carrying 230 into a par 5.
Yeah.
For the second shot has never been easier.
Yeah. And it's going in super high.
Iron,
yeah.
I was trying to get
lift it up there. Yep.
Oh gosh.
So that one was a touch heely, I think, right? It looked like it was a touch on the heel.
So if it wasn't so heely, it probably would have been pretty straight.
Yeah, and you can see your hips just move slightly closer to the ball. Which, that's not terrible, right?
I'm not too wide with my stance, am I? I've always been...
You're slightly wide.
I'm pretty wide, right?
It's fine, but it's slightly wide.
That's probably why it struggles to stay back, though, right?
Yeah. It's hard to move your hips. The wider you are, it's harder to move your hips, for sure. Yeah. So you could narrow it up a little bit. I mean, the key is you're not that far off, though. Like,
I'm close.
It can feel like it's really far off, but it's not. You in like 5 swings, you've changed your path 5 degrees. Like you have a good concept of it. Like you can do this pretty quickly. Where was that hit?
Okay, that was
Yeah,
with a
heel.
narrower stance.
Yeah,
I
heel.
felt like I achieved everything there in terms of corrections. Struck it pretty solid. Might have been standing a little closer, I guess, but
Yeah, that's a nice club shaft. Nice plane. 50-degree swing plane. That's good for a 3-wood. Hips just move slightly closer to it,
yeah.
and slight heel shot. Yep.
Regardless if it was narrow stance, wide stance, it was about the same. I just needed to work on it. Yeah, man.
It's good though. I mean, you're going to control the face a lot more this way. For sure.
Sweet.
Your other numbers are good. Your attack angles are nice. You know, you have good speed. So it's just, you know, figuring out the figuring out the right pieces to get your path under control. You know, which I think is just the hips and the upper center kind of moving towards the ball. Good job though. Looks good.
We got some good rounds.